Lebon. He came from Philly, and that's just great. And I don't know if you remember, he had mentioned that he saw some of the live streams for the Ocean's Day and other things like that we broadcast, and he said, you know what, I've always wanted to go to Snookers based on seeing us on the live stream, and that helped him come to this event. So I believe that going forward with the Liscotti Memorial, I think we're going to be able to see a 128 pretty much every year.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, the feedback I got from everybody was all positive. Granted, I'm not the person they would complain to.
Yeah, I know you're biased in certain situations and whatnot, but it's really about just making this event great and honoring your dad and the legacy of him. And I'd like to incorporate a lot more of that that legacy into the event if possible going forward. I really like to make that part of the event more so. And I don't think that anyone had any issues, so to speak, but I will say that we have many, many ways that we can amend this event to make it greater and better every year going forward.
Right. This is one of the most difficult tournaments to make everybody happy, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It's extremely, not many people know the inner workings of what goes on and how to make it really fair, and I think you guys did the perfect thing, with the bottom side of the bracket.
Everybody was pretty happy. It's just it's just you got all the skill levels competing, and they feel comfortable competing. Right. And here you have someone that came out of a B bracket, which is pretty tough, to be honest.
Yeah,
but kid coming out of the B bracket, shooting over his head, saying, "Hey, you know what? I can win this event." He's got a lot of good wins under his belt, and there he goes, opening up the first game against Mike Dechaine, saying, "Hey, I'm here."
It looks like that talk we had outside with him.
Yeah. I think so.
We said fire away.
Yeah, fire away, kid.
Fire away, buddy.
Ignore the guy in the chair.
If he's in the chair, it don't matter who it is.
Absolutely. Yeah, Lance and I had the opportunity to talk with Jake right before he started this match here, and we just thrown out all scenarios. How you feeling about the match, this, that, and the other. And Lance had said, "Hey, kid, when you go out there, just fire at him, man. Play like it don't matter, because it don't matter." And none to lose here.
When you play a great player, it's natural to be a little intimidated.
Yeah, of course.
Especially when there's a big gap in skill level.
Yeah.
But you see these people. They don't play to win. You know what I mean? Like they play like they're trying just not to lose.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't beat a Mike Dechaine like that. The only way you're gonna beat a Mike Dechaine is if you are just firing away. I mean, I'm not talking about an equal level skill talent.
Yeah, right.
I'm talking about a lower ranked player.
Right.
He's got he can't just be insanely aggressive. But he.
You need to fire at times. You can't always be trying to duck and hide and get into a moving game with a guy like Mike Dechaine.
You cannot. Right.
You got to shoot the balls in.
Right.
But I'll tell you what. I mean, he's got the right focus, and
I like his demeanor.
Happen. Yeah.
I really like his. He doesn't seem nervous. He doesn't seem rattled. He's taking his time. From what we've seen so far, at least. He hit this pretty well. It went in.
And that was pretty strong there.
That was a pretty good shot. Came up a little short.
And in the winter break format, you just you maintain your serve, and you don't have to lose.
Yeah.
Keep the guy in the chair.
Yeah. I mean, once Mike gets the break, you don't ever have to get to the table. So,
Absolutely.
A big thing too is he cannot afford to scratch on the break. I don't care if he takes some off just to make sure he does not. Wow.
Oh my goodness.
This kid's got some heart.
Oh my goodness. This kid is firing at Mike Dechaine like, I don't even know who you are, bro.
Yeah.
Who's this guy?
I don't care who you are.
Who's this guy? Yeah, I don't care. I'll tell you what. Always got to root for the underdogs. So
Yeah.
Love to see Jake snap it.
I did too.
You gotta love that. But I'll tell you what, this kid is.
And it's good for the tournament, too.
Oh, absolutely.
It's great for the tournament. A B player has won this tournament before. And like you said earlier, in our opinion, the Bs have it the toughest.
Yeah.
And a B has won it before. Dave Gavish won it roughly 3-4 years ago, or whatever it was, as a B. He's a B plus playing in the B bracket.
Mm-hmm.
And I think some players, they get very discouraged thinking, well, I'm a B player, how can I win? How can I win? It's
you got to try to win and believe that it's possible.
Right,
I mean,
right.
if you thought it was impossible, it's never going to happen.
Exactly.
It's like the guy that first invented the airplane or something. It's like, hey, we're never going to fly in little metal birds. What are you, crazy?
Right.
Yeah, okay, well, then guess we're just not going to make planes then, right? You got to believe, folks. Got to believe that it can happen and make it a reality. Mike Dechaine firing back. Jake Lebon missing that 6-ball in the top corner there. And, it wasn't even so much of a difficult shot. I think he was kind of just riding the rush of pocketing that 4-ball. And he needed to really just deep breath, reapproach. And I like to compare that a lot to the slot cars. I don't know if you've heard me make that reference before, but those slot cars. You pull the trigger and the cars go faster. The more you pull the trigger, you'll release it. It goes down slower.
Right.
And if you're going around a turn and you got it pegged and it's going too fast, it flies off the track.
Right.
And it's nice to get it right in that right rhythm. You got to know when to push on the gas and when to let off of it, so that you got that nice momentum.
Right.
And that applies to pool just the same.
I've noticed myself doing it many times. That I start to get into a rhythm. I make a couple tough shots, and I want to ride that rhythm and try to steamroll, and then you end up doing something silly, And when deep down inside, I just did my job, 2-3 racks, you're not. I mean, I'm capable of having a completely near perfect set. But, you're asking for trouble if you think it's going to last like that forever. You know what I mean? But I really love his demeanor so far and the way he's executing. Yeah. And, I mean, if he made that ball and
that could have been an opening 2-pack to go up against Mike, and that's definitely a good place.
Right. And, and believe me, Mike's sitting in the chair saying, this ain't going to be this is not going to be
a walk in the park.
This ain't going to be a walk in the park.
Yep. And Mike coming just a bit short here. He's looking to play this off the rail, and he does.
Great shot. Let's see if he
got to get up by that
7.
Yes, sir. And that 7's going to be a beach ball.
It's funny how that happens, huh?
He's going to go grab the magic stick, the jump cue. He's looking to make this.
I played Mike in my father's memorial for 3rd or 4th place quite a while ago, and I played him the way how we told him he shouldn't play.
Yeah.
I tried to save him.
You tried to play perfect.
I did a bunch of stuff like this. About at least 3 or 4 of them. He jumped and made the ball every time and ran out and beat me 7-0.
Oh, man.
But I could only give him credit. It's not that I made mistakes. He just was perfect. Like this. Oh, it looked like it was going from the single.
Lance, you keep talking like that in this booth, we might see Jake Lebon take this event down.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've heard of the old commentator's curse.
Yeah.
Mike taking a quick look.
I mean, that was no hanger.
Yeah, definitely not a hanger.
The shape on the floor. I mean, I was actually, I wasn't shocked he was jumping at it, but.
And he clips the 7-ball. Still leaves himself the 4. What do you see him doing here? Maybe trying to bank 2 rails up table?
I like banking it back and forth, leaving it at the top table, middle diamond, and then right-hand English on the cue ball coming down behind the 9, or if you overrun, you could be behind the 8.
Yeah, I like that also.
Or this. That's basically the same thing. It's probably even easier to control the 4.
Yeah. And Mike is looking to Massey behind this ball, kicking. He wants to send this behind the 9 ball.
Well executed.
And, he's left him a very makeable 1-rail kick shot on the 4. And I'll tell you what, I know a lot of B players that can make this on the regular. So
Wow. Remember, this is a tight table.
this is a tight table. Tell you what, if Jake Lebon shoots anything like he has been, this ball's going in. And he does not execute. He looked as though he was more so concerned with separating the balls, but
You know, he might have.
he might have been trying to go safe there. But
Well, no, I mean, he might have been looking more at the two-way.
yeah,
But,
yeah,
but,
I
mean,
can
it's,
see
it's
that. You know,
kinda
maintaining the
natural
speed.
either way. Anyways, if he makes
Yeah.
it, he gets the spin, and he ends up, hopefully, depending on the speed, straight in the corner, the far corner, on the 6.
So Jake Lebon kicking at this 4 ball.
You know, that's
Wow.
that's what I want to see is how well does this guy kick? Because we
Yeah.
all know Mike. I mean, he's a run-out player, but you know, if he spots a weakness, and if this guy can't kick too well, you know,
Yeah,
you
Mike's
know
gonna be locking him up a lot
he's-
more
and
often
he's
for
gonna be-
sure.
And he's going to be getting ball in hand, and
Yeah, you got to be a
He's gonna-
well-rounded player to take on somebody like Mike, and
Yeah.
it can't just be, oh, I can shoot balls in. Well, a lot of people can shoot balls in.
Right.
How do you play safe? How do you kick? How do you bank? I mean, a lot of those things are going to come into play. So I expect him, just judging by the way it's looking there, I expect him to play 2 rails toward at that corner pocket there and try to keep the cue ball underneath that 8, sending the 4 up the table. But it looks as though he's choosing to masse into it.
yeah, not so. It's just a very uncontrolled shot there.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you leave an open shot for a top player like Mike, it's probably going to be an out.
Yeah.
The guy doesn't miss it very often.
I'll tell you what, though, this is no. You know, this guy just strikes balls so well.
You might
Oh,
think he
he's
had
okay.
ball in hand every shot.
Yeah, you know, at Yale Billiards, the old Yale Billiards, when they had that super tight table. I mean,
The second table right in there. Yeah,
I
yeah,
watched.
he would fire balls
Oh
on that
my,
table. It's
like
unbelievable.
Like it was a bucket.
Yeah.
It was. Oh my! It made me want to quit pool. It made me want to quit pool watching. I mean, I was just amazed, just sitting there. And you know, Mike, he likes to really punch balls. You
Oh,
know, he
yeah.
don't roll. I mean, nobody should roll them in, but he uses more of a punch, power stroke a lot of the time compared to a lot of other pros.
And this is going to get very, very close here. I don't expect to see any offense here whatsoever.
That should be easy. Just graze it, go up table, leave him on the rail, and let's play the knowledge game and the moving game.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jake Lebon does have an opportunity at the table, which means that if he is able to make just one low percentage shot here, he can go up 2 games to 1.
What are you doing? If you're at the table, what are you gonna do here?
I mean, it really depends on what my comfort level is at the time, but
You know what? He put him so close to the rail. It's such a tough cut,
Yeah,
tight pockets.
it's
I
really
think
tough
it's
to
a
cue up,
sucker
yeah.
shot going in on that.
Yeah.
I think you know he didn't.
I think he was trying to just put it right next to the 9 ball.
Yeah,
and hopefully,
he didn't execute how he wanted to, but I think it was a better decision than trying to go in on that.
Yeah.
that
Yeah, I think so, too.
9-foot thin cut into
Yeah.
a tight pocket. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you what, I
Uh-oh.
wow,
Wow.
cannot believe what we just saw.
Wow.
And Mike says, "I'm sorry, but you need to shoot this ball." And Jake
It-
Lebon takes the lead 2-1. Wow, is this possible, folks? Are we going to see Jake Lebon take down the monster Mike Dechaine? Is it possible? It would be going to a second set race to 5 if that is the case. So Jake needs to defeat Mike twice. Very, very tall order.
I'll tell you what, too. The first set, when you free stroke and win, and now you get into the second set, you'll see a lot of guys tighten up. You know what I mean? Because
Yep.
right now he feels like, you know what, I'm the underdog. I got nothing to lose. I'm a fire away. If he does his job and wins that first set, now you might see him tighten up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he just made an error that, most people are not expecting him to make.
Right. I'm very unfamiliar with his game. I've never. He's from Philadelphia, right?
Yeah, he said he's from
mentioned,
Philly. Yep.
Fusco's place down there. I'm impressed with what I've seen so far. I mean, I really like his demeanor. A lot of, like I said earlier, a lot of guys get intimidated, and he seems very comfortable. And
I'll tell you what, I've watched him play these last like 4 or 5 matches, and he's paper thinning this one ball, and he's going to come back and forth. That's his style. He's firing. He's going to fire here, 100%. He's going to fire this one ball right in the hole. He's just going to paper thin it, come back and forth. Guarantee you that's the way he attacks here.
Yeah, it looks like it.
That's what he was going
from
at
my
there.
angle, it didn't look like
But
it
his
went,
setup,
your angle, it did look.
Yeah, his setup there, he just kind of got down and fired. I know that he's capable of making that. He's made similar shots a few racks
Especially
here, but
being close to the ball like that.
yeah, I will say though he did get fortunate here, as we see Mike Dechaine looking to jump over this 2-ball, and he makes it.
What kind of jump cue does he use? I'm gonna go buy him.
I think he got it from Hogwarts, Harry Potter's school.
You got it somewhere special.
Saw a little bit of glitter and light coming out of that after he followed through. Not sure if that's legal, but hey, he uses it. Mike saying, "Nice try, kid. You're gonna have to do better than that."
Yeah, you think
That's exactly what he's thinking.
I'm gonna show you who I am.
That's exactly what he's thinking right here. If you don't know who I am, I'm about to show you, kid.
Exactly. Because I mean, really, he got that scratch on the 9, which was, it's a mistake, but it's kind of unlucky at the same time, especially on a tight table. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like it's a bucket where you can hit the second diamond and go in.
Yeah, sure enough. But I mean, a player like Mike should definitely know you don't hit it on that line because there's a pocket somewhere over there.
I'm sure he didn't hit the 8-ball as full or thin as he wanted to, which changed the trajectory. So yeah, it was a mistake.
And he's going to roll under here, or what's he doing here? He's going to roll to the side. I've seen Mike play a few shots like that, and I guess that's the way to do it.
He's going in the corner. It looked like let me see your monitor. It looked like
You could see a 3-rail scratch here.
It looked like he was better off going in the side, but sometimes you see funny angles from here. But no, that's good. Maybe he didn't want to have to force to really pound it in that side at that angle and try to come off the bottom rail.
And we got a 2-2 game here. Mike Dechaine saying, "Hey, this ain't over." And I am the man, saying, "I am the winner, and I'm going to prove it." So, Lance, I got to say, I had a great time this weekend.
Yeah, it was. I couldn't ask for more. I'm very, very grateful for the job that everybody I mentioned, you, Sal, Mario, Tom Peterson, Snookers.
Yeah, I was happy with the collaborative effort. We talked about this early about just having multiple pool entities work together to make something greater, and it's really nice to see that happen.
Yeah, I fully agree. I fully agree. I'd like to see more tournament directors working together instead of
saying, "Hey, I got the better thing."
Yeah.
No, I got the better thing. No, how about we've got pool?
Right.
Let's not ruin it, guys.
Right. There's enough players for everybody. Why are we overscheduling tournaments?
Yeah, it's just no reason for any of that
right.
stuff.
So if say there's 6 tournament directors, why can't they be in a group text or some Facebook group thing and say, "Listen, guys, what do you want to do? Well, you want this weekend? I'll take this one, and we'll all even advertise each other's tournaments." I mean, come on.
Absolutely.
What do they think they're going to do? Put everybody out of business and own the entire scene? It's never going to happen.
I see Eric Lim in the chat there. Made it home safe and sound. We had a great time too. Thank you, Eric. It was great to see you. You did well in the event. Nice finish. I believe Eric finished in 5th, 6th. Very strong finish there from Eric. Nice shooting this past weekend. And Mike Dechaine is already saying, "Hey, I don't like where I ended up there."
Yeah, his cue ball has been a little bit looser than normal, especially for a table that he's extremely comfortable on. But
he's real comfortable. But maybe the kid opening with a break and run was like, "Wait a minute, do I have to play pool here?"
Yeah, I don't know about all that. I I think Mike Dechaine's had plenty of people fire at him. I don't think that's something that's going to
Oh,
rattle him. But
of course, but I'll tell you what, I feel as though when a player that is supposed to be a good player fires at you, it doesn't rattle Mike more than a B player that's firing at him. He's like, I'm going to lose to a freaking B player. Are you kidding me?
The mental,
Yeah, and I think that that's going to change it. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I really think that that would weigh more on a top echelon player more than another top player playing against them. It's like, are you kidding me? This B player is beating me. I feel like that would be like a kick in the you-know-what.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
what the heck?
I'll tell you, me personally, I seem to play my best against people that I consider better than myself.
Mm-hmm.
When I play somebody who I feel like I'm supposed to beat.
Yeah, your game goes down.
You almost take shots for granted, and
like, well, I don't have to get out because they're going to give me another shot.
Right.
So what the heck? I'll try it.
Right, and that's very bad to think like that. That's no world class player ever will think like that. That's why I'm not a world class player.
And here we go, Jake Lebon getting another shot at this 6, 7, 8, 9. Kid's
What's
looking
he do
pretty
with the
good.
9? It looks like it goes in the side, no problem.
I mean,
It's gonna be thin.
I think that's all going to depend on where he ends up right here.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah.
Let's see.
No, considering the speed of the table, I think he's going to come above it.
I would actually probably think he would just slowly spin it like that. I would have used a little bit more. What would it be?
But again, that
outside.
speed of the table is going to make it come a lot sharper than
a
we
little
want.
low outside though, but he should be okay.
And he executes Jake Lebon, going up 3-2 over Mike Dechaine in the finals here. Hopefully everybody out there is enjoying the stream, watching. Hey, Jay Ramsdale in the chat. Great event, Mike. Had a great weekend, and you guys ran it very well. Glad you enjoyed yourself, Jay. Lots more to come, 100%. 100%. We got this guy here, Jeff Romanowski. What up, Lance? Is that your buddy there?
Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
Lots going on here. Ivo Petrov says robbery. Well, I mean, Mike's losing the match right now, so I don't know about robbery.
It's not unheard of for robbers to get caught either.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Maybe Ivo knows something that we don't about Jake.
Yeah, you never know.
Is that Jake from State Farm? He's wearing jeans. It's not khakis. Forget it.
Yeah, no, forget it.
All right, so Mike is not going on the offense here.
You know what? What do you think he's going to do? You think
He's going to stick him behind the 6.
Well, what do you think he's going to do with the 1? You think he's going to put
gonna
it
play the combo.
right by the 9?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. He's looking to get Jake out of the equation completely. And he can make that with ball in hand as a carom. Not as a combination, but as a carom he can.
Yeah, I would agree.
I'm going to go to the overhead so you guys can get a better look at what Jake Lebon is actually seeing right now.
And you know what, too? Even if for whatever reason, if Mike misses that 9, the cue ball is going to sit on that bottom rail. The 1's going to go up. It's going to be extremely difficult to jack up and draw back into the.
You know what I'm noticing? It almost looks as though Jake can just shoot directly at the 1 ball. I don't know if that 6 ball is actually
Mike
in
was
the way.
looking really close. He knew that it was close. You saw Mike bend down and look.
Yeah.
He didn't get him where he wanted. That's for sure.
And like I said, I feel that Mike would be more nervous losing to a lesser player than a higher level player.
Yeah,
I
I fully agree. I fully agree.
You see, like, I think he's just light masse, and he makes contact. He does not. So we're going to see if Mike can execute this carom shot that we were so calling.
Let's see. I got a real good look at it from here. Let's see once he moves his hand.
Very good bid on that shot by Jake Lebon. But Mike is really taking his time looking
Yeah,
at that.
I can see it looks a little funny, but
Looks like he's almost just going to try
Play
to
safe.
lock it. Yeah.
I got the perfect angle as soon as he moves.
I mean, you're Mike Dechaine. I mean, you don't just shoot the balls in right now.
Well, if he's not shooting it, it's for a reason.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean running out? The one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
thought
like,
you meant that kid.
no, I meant just, oh, he's getting him on 3 here.
Well,
That's what he's looking
what
for.
we discussed earlier. Let's see how good the kid kicks.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because Mike's a crafty player. I mean, he's a world-class player.
Yeah, I mean, he's got him stuck on the 9 ball there.
Yeah.
And we talk about that a lot, about the level of safe play. And this is a well-executed safe shot here.
Yeah, and he only left him from the natural line. I mean, see, he's going to spin it a little, which is a good decision to make it a bigger ball. Yeah, see.
And that's going to be 3 right there.
Yeah.
And Mike Dechaine winning by a count of 3 fouls.
Yeah, you know what? If I'm Mike, I'm definitely going to start playing some safes.
Oh, yeah. He
Nah,
knows
I'm
that
not-
if there's an open shot, the kid can fire a bit. So,
Right.
he doesn't want to leave it open.
I'm not saying that was an easy kick. or
Yeah,
anything
no,
by
of
any
course
means,
not. Of
but,
course not. And Mike headed to the restroom very quickly. So just for 1 second, we're going to take a quick word from our sponsor, Classic Signs.
Let Classic Signs help put your vehicle to work. Custom graphic design and professional installation technicians transform simple transportation into effective mobile advertising. You will lose money every day your name is not on a vehicle. Call us at Classic Signs today.
Right. And that was Classic Signs. You see their information right there on your screen. They're a huge supporter of the Snookers live stream channel. And Mike went to go wash his hands, I believe. It is his turn at the table, so that is a legal break. And I wanted to mention that is a rule here. When you wish to take a break, it has to be done while it's your turn at the table.
Are they, was it 1 break per player per match?
That's usually the case, yeah. We say you got a 5-minute break, and it's got to be taken on your turn.
Yeah, of course. That's got to be a no-brainer.
Well, you'd be surprised. See a lot of events where, the break rules, taking a break during a match are just
Actually, now
very confusing.
Now that you mention it, a guy will win, the opponent will rack, and just walk away.
Yeah.
Like he owns
He racks
the
the
table
ball,
or
yeah,
something.
racks and walks away, and
Yeah,
you're
it's
like,
crazy.
where you going, dude?
Yeah.
Where you going, bud?
He might have the courtesy to say, "Hey, I'm taking a break," but it's like, "Hey, buddy, it's not your it's not your turn to decide if you want to take a
Yeah,
break."
exactly. And, you don't want to be chasing the guy. I mean, you could literally be cheating,
Yeah.
and he's not going to know the difference.
Right. Yeah, I'll be honest. Not that I'm. Never mind. I'm not going to go there.
I know what you're going to say there.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just, if you're leaving the table, I mean.
Not that I don't trust
Hey,
people.
guess what? I
but
won the game.
Nothing,
Oh, you did?
Nothing good can happen. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
like positions where nothing good can happen.
Yeah,
care
you
wh- I
leave
don't
the
care what
table
it
and
is.
you're involved in an active match and it's not your turn.
Right.
You just deserve to lose.
Yeah, right. It's just not a
Yeah.
wise decision.
No.
And most players are extremely honest. I'll tell you what, if a guy does that to me, I'm not stopping. I'm breaking.
Oh, yeah.
And if I make a ball and running balls, I'm not stopping. I'm not waiting.
You know what I just saw? I saw Mike Dechaine break dry with a template. You ever think you'd see that in your life?
Yeah, you know what?
On a table he knows?
Last time I played Mike, I won the first rack. I don't remember if I broke dry or broke and scratched. He ran out 1-1, and then he broke and ran the next 6, 7-1 before I get back to the table. All I did was break dry or break and scratch. Is it?
Earlier I was speaking with Kerry McAuliffe.
Yeah.
And
Very
he had he had mentioned that there's an option in an event. I believe he said it was something at Derby where if a player runs the entire set out on you, you have a single inning to to go back at him.
What,
so
to
like
try to run the set
to
back
try
out at him?
to try to do the exact same thing. And
I wonder if it's ever been done. And then you go to a playoff.
I would ask Earl
overtime?
Strickland that. Yeah, what do you do there?
Yeah,
Like
right.
alternate break from that point? I mean, but that was.
Wait, so you're telling me, right? If you play race of 9 and the guy breaks and runs the whole set, that the other player gets to come and a chance to break and run 9?
gets a
to
chance
tie?
to do it the same thing? Yes.
I'd love to hear what's the tiebreaker. 1 rack, a race to 3, a race to 9. What I'd love to hear what the tiebreaker is. That's. I wonder if it's ever been done. I mean,
I would be.
You know the odds.
I would not be surprised to hear that it's never been done. But
No, I wouldn't be surprised. But
and that 8-ball's tracking, and it's going to fall. 2-ball has just a small window to get into that side pocket.
you know what? I don't think it does. I think he's going to carry him a 6.
He may elect to do that.
Yeah, and then push it 2 up table, be straight in.
Yeah, that looks like what he's going at.
Oh
And he missed.
Gosh. Wow.
Oh my goodness.
He missed it on the side that I wouldn't think he would have missed it on. If anything, I would have thought he would.
Andy Gow, nobody has won 3 racks against MD all week, and you are absolutely right. I believe that total prior to this match, Mike hasn't even lost 5 games.
Yeah, I was
total.
I was talking to my good friend Mario earlier, and he said something similar, that he heard or saw that he thought he was playing so well. It was 7-0, 7-1, 7-0, 7-1. But I mean, you know, that's what world class players do.
Yes, they
I
do.
play Mika Imman in that Turning Stone. I miss 1 ball. He beats me 9-1. You know what I mean? Like, what can you do?
There it is. What are you supposed to do?
I played Jason Shaw. I forget the game. It was a handicap tournament. I forget what the game was. Whatever. He's got to win 11 racks. I shot 3 times the entire set.
That's
I
insane.
think I won 1 or 2, and one of them was because he broke and scratched.
You got Mike Dechaine kicking at this 3-ball here. Almost pocketing the ball. I
hit
think
it
he's going to
good.
sell a wide open shot out here.
He might go behind 6.
Wow, that was both fortunate and unfortunate,
what? Can you
depending
see
on who you are.
Can you see it, or a little masse, a little jump? You know, this would be a
I think
prime
we're going
time
to see
jump.
Masse. I think we're going to see Masse here.
It depends. You know what, though?
Gets right up to do
I
it.
might go with. I would personally. Can he go rail first? No, it's too far.
I mean, he could go rail first. You really got to
You know
be
what?
back cutting it to the corner, and I don't like that idea.
I might opt to jump here, because with that slow masse, that cue ball stays up table. You know, you're
I
going to
mean, the
run
4
into.
is close to the 5 and the side and everything, you know. But I hear what you're saying. I might say go with the jump here.
Yeah,
also.
I just don't want to stay. I don't want to be stuck up table, back cutting the 4,
Yeah.
or trying to roll it in. I mean, it's wilder jumping. It's more uncontrolled.
You know what I see coming here?
I'll bet you on it. I know what you do.
Bet you I know what might happen
You
here.
know what? Let's see. It's laying pretty good.
Yeah, it's not a
From here,
not a bad idea. I mean, it's just you know, execute the draw stroke, and there it is.
I wonder if there's any good 2-way. Play this. What can he do? Could he hit the 4?
Maybe
firm?
just speed. You know, sending the 4 to the top of the table. But I think you just got to focus on making that. Is he going to get the jelly roll? He does not get the jelly roll. You know, I got to say, it seems like Jake is getting slightly anxious when he gets to a favorable position like that. You know, it's just, you know, hey, this is a hard shot. I know I can make it, but I'm going to win if I do. Yeah. And he kind of just gets down and fires. And if.
But you know what? I don't know if you've ever seen him play before. That might be how he plays all the time.
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah.
It just seems as though. You know, like remember the 1-ball thin cut? You know, he broke. He had the clear shot at the 1-ball, and it looked as though he was just going to cut it in like he had done in the past. Right. And you know, it just, you know, he just kind of got down and bang.
Yeah. You know, that could be. Has he played on this table yet?
Oh yeah, Jake has played on this table his last 4 matches, I believe. So he's very comfy here.
I was shocked at with those first 2 racks, those pretty good outs he was making. He was hitting his spots, and he was pocketing balls real well. And I've played maybe 2 matches, 3 matches of my life on this table, and I look like a C player the first time I ever played on it. I mean, it's a tough.
Yeah,
table.
you really got to get used to it and just, you know, get your bearings. I like to, you know, you get your compass or whatever you want to call it, but you definitely got to get your bearings on the table before jumping right into something. However, Mike Dechaine taking a one-game only lead against Jake Lebon. Pretty significant. So Mike Dechaine putting those balls up. And players take note of where he is placing those balls. He's putting them in order, how he likes them. And we're going to see.
How do you feel about pattern racking?
Well, I'll tell you like this. You know, it's really up to the directors
Right.
to dictate things like that.
Right.
And, you know, because, you know, I just say it like this. When certain things are not dictated prior to the start of an event, if they come up after the fact, you cannot jump out and say, hey, guess what? You can't do that anymore.
Yeah, I wish some other tournament directors knew that, because
So
I got the worst of that plenty of times.
yeah, and once you recognize what the issue is, you can adjust there.
Right.
But I'm also not a fan of, like, you know, you see a player get into a tournament and, you know, they say, hey, by the way, you used to be a C, now you're a B, or you're a B and now you're an A.
Right.
Guess what? That's the tournament director's fault. It's not the player's fault. If the player lies to you, that's different.
Let me ask you this. If there's no soft break rule determined before the tournament starts,
Yep.
and I start soft breaking, are you going to allow it, or are you going to say...
Well, here's what I want to say. There's a line between soft breaking and safe breaking. And
Okay.
I would have to make a determination there. I mean, if you're literally like one pocket breaking and it's an 8-ball tournament, I'm going to tell you break the damn balls.
Okay.
But, you know, if you're playing 9-ball, let's say 9 on the spot, and you're not comfortable pocketing the wing ball, and you want to hit it medium and roll the cue ball under the rack, I don't have a problem with that.
Okay. What?
I don't have a problem with that.
Okay, I would tell you. I was playing this amazing person one time. And,
We don't have to name them, right?
Yeah. This girl, Kelly Hodder.
Okay.
She might be watching.
All right.
I never met her before. I thought she was under handicapped.
Uh-huh.
I was away for a while. Never met her. It was, you know, big handicap. She was playing great, right? I had this big spot. So all I could think of was I'm gonna thin the one, go by, leave the whole stack pretty much right there, go 2 rails behind, and just try to get her on 3.
This is on 9-ball.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Now, I needed a miracle, and she needed like 1 or 2. I needed probably 7 or 8 to her 1 or 2. You know what I
man.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
I was just fishing for anything at that
some
point.
kind of angle. Yeah.
I mean, and I was playing on a slightly tight table, so you know, I don't even have to doing that. I don't even have to risk maybe hanging a 7 or 8 and giving the match away. You know what I mean? So it worked for a couple racks, and then they shut me down. I really don't blame them. But the thing is, it was technically illegal. I was getting enough balls to the rail, you know, the cue ball, 2 balls to the rail, but you know, and then I won't mention the tournament director. I'm not knocking him or anything. But it was like all of a sudden, all 3 balls got to go past the head, and I didn't give him no problem. Whatever.
But the deal is that, you know, me as a director, when I direct an event, I want to be accountable for the things that aren't up to par, or you know, just the discrepancy. So it's like, if I feel as though, hey, I didn't cover that rule, then it's kind of free game. I mean, you know, it's fair game to a degree. I mean, I'm not going to say, oh, I didn't say that you couldn't pick up the ball and just put it in with your hand. Well, guess what? You know, that's my fault for not having a rule like that in general. But
I can understand if it's not elite, like if not enough balls are getting a rail, you know what I mean? Something like that.
and you know, I do dictate breaking rules at my events. You know, I say 4 balls to a rail, balls pocketed, count towards the total. And I also say that if your break is illegal, like say someone is trying to really just tap the rack, if they don't make a legal break, your opponent gets the break. So you really got to hit the balls well and make sure that's that. You know, when it's 10-ball, sometimes you know, it's common practice to dictate the 2 and 3 racked on the corners of the rack, and you know, at times, you know, you see where it's not that. I mean, some people like to do it, some people don't like to do it. I mean, really, you know, it's really just up to the tournament directors to say, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is the rules, and if you don't like it, then that's that. But you really have to try to cover everything. You know, the rules of my stuff, it's always been progressive. Like each time that we make another addition or an amendment to something that's already there, it's just it's making it better and more fair and more well received for all of the players. But
I really could care less what the rules are as long as they're stated before the tournament.
Oh yeah.
They only listen when I'm talking about that. What I was doing, trying to get around 3 fouls.
Yeah,
and all
with
that.
Kelly. Yep.
Listen, if that was predetermined, X amount of balls got to go past the side and this and that.
Yep.
I got no issue. And granted, I really didn't have an issue anyways.
Yeah.
I could care less. I'm easy going. I don't care, whatever. But it's kind of like, somebody was complaining or whatever, and he comes over and says, all of a sudden 3 balls got to go above the side pocket or the head, whatever it was. Stuff like that. I'm not, it's like, listen, there's only so many
You never want to
rules.
have questions during an event. You want to say, hey, any questions before we begin?
Right.
And as soon as you get that, you say, okay, that's what it is. Bang.
Yeah, I don't want to leave similar to the NFL. I don't want to leave it up to the refs.
Yeah.
I don't want opinion to come in. I just want rules. And it's black and white.
And
you either follow them or you don't. It's
and
simple.
I think that there should be a clear-cut way to go over those things.
Yeah,
and
right.
You announce them before the tournament happens.
Right.
You release them before the tournament happens.
Half
You
of them
post
are
them
on
in the room.
flyer. Half of them are usually on the flyer.
Yeah. Yep.
I think, if anything, it's just a lack of, you've probably never seen that in your life, what I was doing. Just tapping the one, going 2 rails, trying to get a lower player out. I mean, that's some, I don't blame the guy for not thinking about it. You know what I mean? But to not have
But even so, if it's a 9-ball tournament,
there should be some sort of break.
There's got to be some kind of breaking rules. Yeah.
So the fact that I got away with it for 2-3 racks, and now all of a sudden he wants to implement a rule, it's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
But, that's not the end of it. It's all ha-has.
Of
anyways.
course.
Who cares? We're all here to have a good time. If you make a buck, it's a bonus.
Yeah. So Mike Dechaine looking to get comfortable here. He's taking a 2-game lead over Jake here.
George Texera, how you doing, buddy? Brush.
George, what's up, bro?
The Portuguese prince.
Look at that ball travel right in line. And here he goes, Mr. Mike Dechaine, looking to put another one up. And he does. And he is just 1 game away from victory here. Folks, make sure on the Snookers Live page you are liking and following. Okay, like and follow. We got a lot of good stuff coming your way. So make sure you like and follow to get those updates. I hope everybody is enjoying the stream.
I'll lay you 3-1. He makes a ball.
I'm gonna
4-1, 5-1, 5-1.
As
Last
Billy
one,
the
20
Kid.
to 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As Billy the Kid would say, El Paso. What was the bet on getting shape on the next ball?
Listen, Mike, if he makes a ball, he usually has shape.
Yeah. Mike,
I had a long conversation with him last time I seen him at Yale Billiards, the old Yale Billiards in Wallingford, the first one, and he was very polite and helpful. I had a couple questions for him. I noticed what he was doing on the break, and it was just the break. It was just nobody could beat him the way he was breaking.
Yeah.
And I asked him about it, and I was expecting the typical
come on, kid, you're gonna have to do this or something.
Like
give me a lesson or pay me something, whatever.
Not about money, but like people don't like to share stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know how it is among pros. They, unless they're friends, they don't want to share information, and I don't blame them.
Some of them don't.
You might tell a pro something, and then he uses it against you and beats you for 5,000 in a tournament somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, or gambling or something, anything. I can't blame him. But
So-
I was, he really took some time with me, and I really appreciated it. He was very,
And there you have it. Mike Dechaine defeating Jake Lebon in the finals. 7-3. Lance Lascotti, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Mike. Once again, thank Sal Bevilacqua, Mario Argentino, Tom Peterson, Snookers, all the players that came out, all the professionalism they showed. This tournament's, we both feel like it's definitely going to be growing. It's on the right
absolutely.
path, and
Absolutely.
I couldn't be happier, and I really appreciate it. My family appreciates it, and I look forward to the next one.
All right, Lance, thank you very much. Folks at home viewing the stream, we thank you for tuning in. And we have lots of good stuff coming for you from the Snookers Live page. So make sure you like and follow. And we will catch you next time on the Snookers Live stream. Thank you very much.